So Mom came home from getting the oil change in her 2005 Nissan Sentra and told me that they told her her dipstick had broken off halfway down the tube and you need a working dipstick. So I went on YouTube and internet to see what people had done about it. Apparently there's no easy solution, and a lot of people failed to get the dipstick out in many different ways. Some people tried to blow it out with compressed air. I was a little leery of that because I didn't want to blow any gaskets out. And certainly a garage would charge you much money. So I'm going to show you what I tried. Alright, we're inside the hood here, and you can see right here, that's where the dipstick tube is. The dipstick's broken in there. The garage says, we don't want to deal with it. You got a broken dipstick. So I went to the auto parts store and I asked them for I looked around for some tubing. I showed them the diameter of what I needed, and we ended up buying some vacuum tube, which I thought was the appropriate outside diameter so it could snake down the dipstick tube. Well, I got home and it was a little too fat. So I looked around the house and I have some of this stuff hanging around. I don't know what it is. It's a little thinner than what I wanted. I wanted it to just fit in the inside of the dipstick tube and to be able to capture, if you will, the dipstick itself, or the remnant of the dipstick. And what I did was, I stuck this into the dipstick tube, measured how far it was until I hit the dipstick. It was in fact 8 3/8 inches. So then I made a mark on my tube at 8 3/8 inches. I reamed some of the inside of diameter of this a little bit out with a drill bit so that it could accept the top of the dipstick if I was lucky enough to get it on there. Then what I did is I loaded it up with 2-part epoxy. I mixed up a little batch and stuck it in the tip. And what I didn't want is for the 2-part epoxy to drip out into the dipstick tube and leave it all gummed up and obstructed. So I did a test whereby I mixed it up, I put it in there, and I tipped it upside down until I was sure it wasn't going to drip out anymore. And that was basically about 10 minutes. So I did a 10-minute waiting time, and I snaked it back down into the tube until it seemed to be up to the 8 3/8 inches plus my reamed out portion, which is about 1.5 inches, and I was pretty sure it was probably on top of the end of the dipstick. I let it sit there for 2 hours, and here's what I got. Dipstick.